Morning, everyone. It's a great privilege and honor to be here. My name is Joseph Fernandez. I've been with MasterCard for a little over 3 years and absolutely enjoyed every single day being associated with this great organization like MasterCard. It's a great question why diversity is important for my organization. I would say uh, our entire strategy and culture is actually enabled through diversity. Our former CEO, Mr. Ajay Banga, always says that even today, that if you hire and if you work with people who look like you, who have a similar background like you, similar education, then there are high chances that you will fail and you will fail fast. The only reason that you would fail is because you have failed to identify the blind spot. So if you want to be successful, you have to probably hire and have diverse set of population. If you look at today's digital age, if you say we leverage so much of technology, we barely meet with people face to face how we used to meet probably before. If there is anything that will put us or any bottleneck, that is a blind spot. And the only way to overcome this is having a strong diversity and inclusion strategy. So I would say it is absolutely the most important thing for my organization because this is not only important for our survival, but also for our prosperity and do well and actually overcome competition and make a world this better place to be. So I think diversity is extremely important and powerful for us.
This is a discussion on increasing women's performance in your companies. We'd like you to talk about an initiative taken by your company that has been successful in increasing the number of women rising in your workplace. So, specific L&D programs, leadership development programs, or any other initiatives to increase the rise of women to senior levels.
After really being inspired by listening to so many of my co-panel members, I'm really doubtful in terms of what is the different or unique, I would say, because everybody of them was saying, hey, we also do this, we also do this, we also do that. So I think I don't want to sound stereotype types, but let me make an attempt. But I just want to take a step back, and I know we are up on the hour, and I will be precise and to the point. But I just want to take a step back because you asked a very important question. What are the interventions we do or organizations do in terms of having a very significant presence of women at senior level and how do we develop them? So I want to take a step back and say that, first focus on something that really makes this intervention successful. You know, at MasterCard, we constantly, time and again, in every possible forum, we pass a statement saying, and it's a very powerful statement. It says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's a very powerful statement. What does that mean? It primarily means that irrespective, you might have the best of the strategy that you can design. You might get best of the consultants who form a strategy for you. But until and unless you have an equivalent effective culture that supports your strategy, you will never achieve the strategy. So your culture is extremely important. So coming back in terms of developing women, so we have a very you know, if I want to say, so we designed a culture and Mastercard got it right and right on time. That is, we have a diversity-friendly work culture. Now, what does that mean? What is a diversity-friendly work culture? It primarily means there is equal opportunity, there is equal pay, effective career mapping for even women, taking thoughtful risk, giving that flexibility, provisions of self-care and family support, job protection during certain scenarios. When women are empowered to speak freely at different forum, women have been encouraged to take roles what they've probably never done before, promote women resource groups with a very strong sponsorship, and by the end of it, we take pride in saying that a culture with reference to diversity is not by chance but is absolutely by design. And some of the interventions, so this is, I wanted to stress more on the culture because we firmly believe that if you have the right culture, then only your interventions work and they're far more effective. So coming back to your query, in terms of what do we do to have more women at the top or at the senior level. So we work on few guidelines or guiding principles, that is education, experience and exposure. We got to fire in all cylinders, not only in one of those. Second is we must leverage technology as much as possible so that we are able to achieve our end objectives. And the third bit is we work with a awesome vigor and focus with our statistics, the way we analyze, the way we review, the way we put Stairco in place in terms of the review happens at every stages. For example, every position, and I mean every position, or especially at the senior level, we do not close it until and unless the hiring manager has interviewed or equally qualified women. And there is no compromise, to that. You need to absolutely bring a women candidate on the table who is equally qualified. So that is one particular example we do. Second is, trainings are important. And as some of my fellow colleagues said, we have trainings at different levels. We also have that. At any point in time, any point of your juncture, your capability development, we have a very structured training program for that. It can be Women Who Lead. Since we are a technology organization, we have programs around Women in Code. We hire most of our women through Codeathon. So in the sense, we say if a tech organization, then we go to hire women, rub shoulders with men. So need to have equally capable, and we are surprised to see in terms of the type of capability we hire that. From an education, from an exposure and experience perspective, we have a very structured model we call talent marketplace. So what happens with this is, uh, under this program, a diverse population is put across real-time projects, stretch assignments, cross-functional, which can also lead to expert roles, wherein they have been given opportunity to work into areas which they have never worked on. I think that's been very effective for us. We feel that diversity doesn't get complete until unless we touch the entire employee life cycle. The other example comes to my mind is when it comes to talent management. All the important critical high impact positions, we work with an intent of having a women as a successor, is part of the successor whom we can invest and gradually develop that in those roles. There are a few more unique programs that we do. If I say is the 30% club, wherein 30% of our population has been put under a very structured mentoring program, wherein the capabilities has been identified and accordingly a mentor has been matched. I spoke about in terms of how do we leverage technology in this entire journey or a vision in terms of bringing diversity to where we wish to have. So we leverage technology heavily. Some of the examples that come to my mind is, one is we have a very technology driven academies put in place. These are not only technology related, but also in terms of behavioral leadership capability driven. So the best part about this technology is you can elevate, influence your own learning anytime and anywhere you wish. Finally, some of the other things that I would say is, uh, you know, we have a fantastic in-house model wherein, if you have an XYZ capabilities to develop, we call it talent mapping. So I just have to go and put in terms of what are the capabilities I need to develop. The system is developed in a way that there are experts in our organization who have these capabilities as their expertise, and the technology allows them to map. So it's a very structured mentoring program. You only design in terms of in line with what are the capabilities you need to do. So any aspect, that we do, we ensure that we cover the three, that is education, exposure, and experience. A recent example that I want to give is, there was a need that was been given that some of our women, first time people who were being promoted as first time people managers, they need to learn around coaching and mentoring. So how do we give them an exposure around this? We identified tier 3 engineering colleges, and some of them are on outskirts of Pune and Vadodara. These are primarily neglected colleges wherein poor syllabus, poor faculty, whatsoever, very much deprived, far from reality and what does organization want. We put around 15 plus of our women who were scheduled to be promoted as people managers. We first gave them an exposure and aligned some of the women students over there in terms of a very structured mentoring program. There they learned in terms of how do they coach, how do they influence, how do they impact, how do they train them. So in short, besides running a very robust training programs, we also ensure that anything and everything we do, we influence the entire employee life cycle. We ensure that we give them a real-time exposure wherever possible. Besides, I can go on with the number of structured training programs that we do, the number of BRGs that we do, the number of codeathon, hackathon that we run for women.